All right, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. On the Most High's set apart Sabbath day, we give our praise, honor, and great esteem to the Most High Power, Yahuwah, Bahashem, Yahushua, Hamashiach. My name is Zakazaki Yahu. I'm joined with my Akeem, Ak Kenaniah, and Ak Yaliel. We're going to continue our study in the book of Bereshit, or Genesis, at chapter 3. Picking up from where we left off last night. And we're going to attempt to be a little bit more focused and try to get through this chapter and into the next chapter, chapter 4, and hopefully get through chapter 4 on today. So that's the plan. Glad to be joined with my Akeem, and definitely looking forward to getting into more of this knowledge in this
Indeed.
Torah study.
Shabbat
Hallelujah.
shalom, Mark.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat
Shabbat
shalom.
shalom, Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Yes, indeed. All right, let's get straight to it, Akeem. And I'm gonna go ahead and share the screen. I got the text up already. I think I'm gonna go back with the blue letter here. The flow of it was just a little bit smoother than that. I got the linear up as well, so I can switch to the. We can switch it at any time if anybody wants to look at anything different. So,
God.
all right, I think we picked up at what 11.
Yeah, that's what I want to say. That's where we finished off at.
Kind. So,
And it was
yeah.
just
So
so
he
much to kind of look at. You know what I mean? From them first 10 verses, man.
Con. Oh yeah, it was deep, and then we kept going into more, which is it's the nature of the study. Things gonna get triggered, and we just we're just gonna follow it for the edification of us, and then the people who would be watching this as well. So, verse 11, and he said, "Who told you that you was naked? Have you eaten of the tree whereof I commanded you that you should not eat? Should not eat." So yeah, the Most High came in, or the voice of the Most High came in and told him, called him out, and so he uncovered himself, he unhid himself, and came out and told him what was going on, and he was naked, so he hid himself, even though he was covered. Uh, Anything stick out in that verse 11 we need to look at?
Um, nah, that's the Abba knows all, and you know, upon hearing that, Adam told him that he was naked, like he automatically knew that somebody
Con,
has told you that. You know what I mean? Uh,
con. Yeah, he was definitely giving them a chance here, to come out, to come with it. And I'm the type of brother, I'm the type of aunt that I don't like to ride at him, too bad on this, because we looking at this in thousands of years later,
mhm.
and we've been over this, hundreds of times, if not thousands of times, and we've heard this story, we've heard this portion of it, all through the Christian church, all through coming to the truth, and it's been done over and over. But Adam did not have that luxury. He did not have somebody to say, don't do this because this is what they did,
Mhm.
and so he didn't have anybody to learn from.
Right. No
So
examples. He is
yeah,
our
come
example.
exactly. So that's why I'm careful. I know I see how he got himself into this situation, and I hate that it happened the way it did. But you know, it's easy for us to look back and be like, shame, shame, shame. But yeah, he just didn't have an example to follow. If he'd have had an example, I'm sure he would have went different. Because me in this situation, I would have been like, Abba, come get this woman. she fooling with this tree. Come get her.
Yeah.
I ain't
And
fooling
you
with
know,
that.
and I hear brothers oftentimes, I've been a part of many studies where, we kind of shame Adam for
Right,
putting the woman on blast, but in that moment, Adam didn't speak any lies. You know what I mean? Like what he
nah,
told was true.
it was the truth. Yeah, and again, he didn't have. I mean, there was no example. There was nobody just to learn for him to learn from, to say, don't do this because look at what happened with this situation. So he is the situation. So, verse 12 says, and the man said, the woman that you gave to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. Like, I didn't want to do it, but it's that woman. It's her fault. She the one that gave it to me. Like, I know that's not the right thing to do. Of course, that's you accept responsibility. And I heard gave a good example of that. He says at his job he makes no excuses. He was like 5 minutes late for work, and he rolled in, and they was like, "What's going on?" And he was like, "I apologize. I'm late. I make no excuses." And they was like, "What?"
Right,
Like,
right. That's unheard of.
that's that's all you got to say.
Right,
Like,
right.
yeah, I make no excuses. And like, well, what happened? You're like, well, it was a wreck. Like, well, how early did you leave? He said, I left an hour and a half early. Like an hour and a half, and you were still 5 minutes late. I mean, can't be mad at that. I mean, what else can you do? An hour and a half
Right.
and another 5 minutes on top of that. I mean, come on. If it was a wreck, it was a wreck. It's just, sometimes traffic just stop. But the point of Atkins, it was like, I make no excuses. And that's something that you learn in a situation like this. You make no excuses. Like, Abba, I'm sorry, I was wrong. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? No excuses. Like, I did it because you set me up to do it. No, I did it
Right.
because I wanted to try it, and I did. When that woman ate it and she didn't die, I thought she was pulling the wool over my eyes. So, I wanted to see what it really was. And then my fire went out, and I knew I was in trouble. I
Right.
knew I was in trouble.
I could tell
Yes,
immediately that something was off. I realized that
exactly.
I was naked.
Yeah, kind. We were naked this whole time, and now I knew I was naked, and it was scary, and I was afraid. Yeah. So, all right. So verse 13, it says, and Yahuwah power said unto the woman, what is this you have done? And the woman said, the serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. So that word for beguile is like trick. Let's get that real quick. What is this stupid thing? Okay, here we go. Just had to get reestablished there. All right. To be beguiled. Yeah, deceived. Yeah, that makes sense. Deceived would probably be the best word. To be beguiled. I mean, come on, that's not how you define beguiled.
Right. Right.
But yeah, so that's deceived would be the best word. The serpent deceived me. Like he tricked me into doing it. So
And this is it's a scripture that I often reference. Different family members when speaking to them
con,
about a lot of the pagan days. You know what I mean? I'll be talking to them about how they're being deceived, and I'll reference
con,
the adversary, beguiling the woman from the jump. You know what I mean? And it's
con.
doing the same thing in this day.
Right, con. That's a good analogy. Definitely for those pagan days, because that's such a tradition, and some people, they made so many fond memories. I know, my ex-wife, when I told her we was going to have to stop doing that stuff, she was like, my whole childhood time with my father was, you know, the best times was during that time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's out of question. And that's why she got the X on her name now. So
Con.
yeah, yeah. Anyhow, verse 14, it says, and Yahuwah said unto and Yahuwah power said unto the serpent, because you have done this, you see, he didn't get any explanation. So because you have done this, you are cursed above all cattle and above every beast of the field. Upon your belly shall you go, and dust shall you eat all the days of your life. So yeah, there was no what's your explanation? There was no what did you do? I mean, he
Mm-hmm.
went straight into punishing him without any and didn't hold back. I mean, that's a
That's a
pretty
father.
harsh punishment.
Yeah, that's a father though, you know. It's a father.
Kind, kind. Well, I mean, that tells you here that the expectation here is
Mm-hmm.
different than what theirs was, because he asked them, explain yourself, and there was the serpent didn't say anything to him. He didn't get a
So
chance to he didn't get a chance to go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, do y'all think it's a literal serpent, or do y'all think it's another entity?
It's definitely a similitude. It's definitely a similitude, but it's perfect in it's so perfect in the explanation, because when he says serpent, of course you think of a snake, and because you have done this, you are cursed above all cattle and above every beast of the field. So I mean that is putting it right where a serpent would be among in the wild, in the wilderness, and upon your belly shall you go. So you got to get down. That's what snakes are. They on their belly all the time. And the dust shall you eat. They eat the dust because that's what they crawl through. And I mean, it's a similitude, but it's of the highest. Uh, it's of the highest of intelligence, because of the how dynamic it is. It's like
Con.
he's talking to a snake literally, but he's not. It's not a literal snake. It's
You
like it's
know,
a literal snake when you talk to it though.
Con. You know, I was researching this and looking and in other versions it says that it's an enchanter. You know what I mean?
Kind,
It calls it, an enchanter. Uh, but your boy up at in Detroit, Quab had done a study a while back ago, and
kind,
he's talking about how his punishment is to be devouring dust, which is
kind.
what we become.
Man,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
As man.
kind. Kind, yes indeed. Yes indeed. And we could also go, without trying to get too far off, but we could also go to Ezekiel 20, and I guess we'll eventually get there if we don't go there now. But where he talks about he was in the Garden of Eden, and you know, all of the y'all familiar with that passage? Or do we need to go there?
Yeah, let's hit that real quick because I'm not exactly sure.
Okay. Back to verse 13 here. Was it 20? Speak of the man. It says, am I wrong? I might be wrong about 20. Was it hold up, I may have the wrong number. I know it's Ezekiel. Let's see. Okay, let me see. Oh, maybe 28. Yeah, it might be 28. My bad. I might be thinking the wrong thing here. Let's go 28 here. Hmm. No, I think I'm way off. What am I doing? Hold on one second. Wait, let me see. 13. What 13 says? Yeah, con. Okay, it's 13. My bad. Okay, I'm tripping. Um, yeah, so it starts off uh, about the king of Tyre, or Tyre. When you get down to verse 13, it kind of switches here. Go ahead and pick that up, Ike, if you could, please.
Con. It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 28, verse 13. Thou hast been in Eden, the garden of Apollo. Every precious stone was thy covering, the sardius, topaz, and the diamond, the beryl, the onyx, and the jasper, the sapphire, the emerald, and the carbuncle, and gold. The workmanship of thy tabrets and of thy pipes was prepared in thee in the day that thou wast created. Thou art the anointed cherubim that covereth, and I have set thee so. Thou wast upon the set apart mountain of Elohim. Thou hast walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire. Thou wast perfect in thy ways from the day that thou wast created, till iniquity was found in thee. By the multitude, is that all we needed out?
Yeah, that's good right there. Well, I mean, it goes further, but that's good because it goes into 16 all covering cherub from the midst of the stone of the fire, and so on and so forth. But I just wanted to get that to kind of illustrate that point of being in um, in Eden. That this is who he was speaking to. So it definitely was not a literal snake. This was this cherub that he's referencing, anointed cherub.
Con.
So yes, indeed. All right, let's go back to Bereshit 3 and where we 12,
13 or 14.
13 to 14. Okay. Yeah, he said that to the serpent. Anything else from this kind of stick out? Did we catch everything? I mean, he went straight to him here and gave him the punishment. Um, verse 15, it says, "And I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed. It shall bruise your heel. It shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel." So now that takes me to Hamashiach's return, and how he's going to have his garments, covered in the wine fat, as if he was treading in the wine fat. What is he going to be doing to do that? When he references those grapes, like how do you make wine?
Crush them.
Crush them with your stomp on it with your feet.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so he's telling this one that we'll put enmity between your seed and her seed, and it shall bruise your head, and you're gonna bruise his heel. And bruise his heel made me think about that picture of Mashiach just almost. I hate to use a secular reference like this, but you remember when Cain and O was outside talking, and what's her name, cousin came up in this society.
Dog, no, Harold was.
Not Harold, that light skinned girl, her cousin. She sent her cousin.
Oh
Yeah,
the bald-headed dude.
Yeah.
He got done bad. He got done bad.
Yeah, when you think about them grapes, you think about a Mashiach question, probably a lot more dramatic than that, but not probably, it's going to be a lot more dramatic than that. But yeah, because he won't be just stomping one over and over. It'll be a
Mhm.
lot of them, and yeah, it's going to be a lot of
And
shedding of wine fat.
God, and that
Trade.
that's a good pull also, because it's prophetic. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
Isaiah 46:10 reads, uh, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, "My counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasures." So, this is the power of the Father, man, declaring the end from the beginning, man.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. That was a good point, huh? Yes, indeed. Praise God. All right. So we got 15. Let's go to 16 here. It says, unto the woman, he said, I will greatly multiply your sorrow and your conception. In sorrow, that's an interesting word. I want to look at that sorrow there. But in sorrow, you shall bring forth children, and your desires shall be to your husband, and he shall rule over you. Now, that's the most
That's
interesting kind. Go
it
ahead,
is.
man.
I'm thinking, and this is because of the downfall of man. Like, what are you all's thoughts? Like, was it supposed to be, you know, what was her desires supposed to be initially? Like, was she equal with Adam? You know what I mean? Before this, you know.
Well, I tell you, go ahead. You got something to add? Or you gonna say
I
that?
would say yeah, equal. I would say yes, and I would say interestingly enough, like I heard an interpretation recently where they were saying that her desire to rule over him uh, would be like you know, but he would rule over you. Like she would have the desire to usurp authority over him,
God,
but the Most High made it, that that's against the law, pretty much for her to take that position. So she would desire that position to be like the head, but she wouldn't be able to righteously obtain that position.
she can't take it. She can't take it from him because he got too much ability to give it, and you know, in in society, not just society. I mean, and even in the animal kingdom, uh, you see the structure. My favorite animal, of course, the lions. And I love that structure where you have the male and you have the females of the pride. And his job is to protect the pride, the overall pride. And their job is to get everything accomplished. So as far as feeding, taking care of the young, all this and that. And he's there just to make sure that everybody is safe. He's a protector, the guardian, and they take care of everything else. Um, I definitely don't think that she was made intended to be equal at that time. The reason I say that is because she was made specifically for him.
God.
When the Most High realized he needed a helpmeet, uh, all the animals came to him and he began to name them individually. But for him, there was no helpmeet found. So that's when he went into the process of creating him this woman. Uh, so yeah, I couldn't see how, and Shaul alludes to that. Well, directly speaks of it in his
A
writing
wicked
as well.
vessel.
Uh,
Uh-huh.
neither was the man, neither was the woman, neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. So the fact that she was created for him to be a helpmeet for him, uh, I couldn't say equal, but I know she's not. Don't get me wrong. By me saying that, I'm not saying that she's a doormat. because we love and respect our women,
Indeed.
especially the daughters of Zion. Uh, we got some of the most wonderful, most beautiful women in the world. Uh, Not some of, but the most beautiful women in the world. But uh, so definitely not equal. Definitely not equal. And Yalia, that was a great point. I think that is her desire. Her desire is, you understand that this is a curse. This is not a. This is not a. You know what I'm saying? Like a. It's a punishment for what she did. And as part of her punishment, her desire is going to be to her husband, meaning she's going to desire his position. I want to be the head. I want to make the decisions. I want to run things. And uh, back to the animal kingdom, the ones that we see that with is the hyenas. The hyenas is a matriarchy. And if you ever taken any time to learn about hyenas, they are in complete disarray. Uh, they have a stronger bite force than the lions do. They have, uh, you know, the ability is great, but they so disorganized. That's their downfall is disorganization. They cannot organize at all. I mean, they can take down prey. They take down the bigger prey, and I mean they do all kind of crazy stuff. One thing I found out recently, and not just, and I'm not trying to get too far off, but one thing I found out just recently is that hyenas, not only hyenas, but wild dogs, they will attack the the genitals of their prey. That's how they take down the really large prey like the buffalo and these type of animals. Like they'll deal with them from the front, or from the back. They bite their genitals, and after a few minutes of bleeding, the animal gets really weak, and that's how they're able to take that down. I just learned that in the last like couple
Wow.
months. Yeah, I didn't have a clue. I never seen lions do that, but the wild dogs and the hyenas, they do that. Like that is so wrong. how do you how do you attack the genitals? I mean, you got genitals, but when you look at the of course the hyena, I mean the wild dogs are different. I don't know if they are matriarchal setup or a patriarchal setup, or if they even have any kind of structure like that. But the hyenas I know, and the female is gets bigger than the male does, which is almost against nature. To have
Yeah, I never
a
knew that about the hyenas, man. Being a matriarchal uh uh society for the most
setup.
part, man.
Kind
But I do know that they're not able to accomplish that of what the lion is able to do. You know what I mean?
kind.
It's very different.
Yes, indeed. And if you notice, one male, they'll deal harshly with the female lions, but whenever that male show up, 10 hyenas will scatter.
Take the flight. Yeah, they taking the flight, man.
Exactly, exactly. For that one male, they fear that male because he will kill them without hesitation. He'll kill them and usually won't eat them. I've seen a couple of occasions when they actually will eat them, but for the most part, they just kill them. Like you don't need to live. Get rid of you. Like wow, that is that's amazing. So like I said, I'm not trying to get too far off, but oh yeah, 17.
Slika,
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
yeah. And I was just gonna say, like, I understand, like, how you like the what you said about like the rose. Like the only reason I think it was more like equal because of like when he gives the punishment, he like makes it clear that the man is gonna rule over her at this point. So like to me, I would say if he's making this distinction that the roles were were different before that happened. You, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I definitely see how you came to that. But
Con.
and the only reason I say that I don't think that was the case is because when he says right here, and your desire, which I think this word desire, let's see what that is here. That's 68669.
I want to say it's covet, to want. And I want to say I looked it up
Crave.
before and I saw the, yep.
Desire, longing, craving of a man for woman, of a woman for man, uh, of beasts to devour.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think that's I don't even think that's a woman to man. I mean, come on, that to me that don't make sense. Uh, it doesn't. It doesn't because I mean, when you think about it, let's think about it like well, from this aspect. I'm a man and I have a wife. Do I not desire her? Is that part of the reason why I even married her? I mean, I understand that they were made. She was made for him, but I mean, does he not desire? Will he not desire her? Is that really a curse? Is that something that you shouldn't have to, that you wouldn't want? I mean, what woman would want to be with a man that they wouldn't desire? And that from that, what I'm saying, as that word shows, from a woman to a man. I mean, how would you be together if you wouldn't desire a person? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you ever spent time with somebody you wasn't really feeling, and y'all got a little too
Right,
close, and you was like,
right,
oh no,
right.
yeah, you get that feeling like, oh no,
Uh,
I don't want to go there. I mean, you certainly wouldn't want to, want to be in that. That's not a comfortable place to be. So I don't think that's what the curse is. That desire, like you said, I think that's his position. Like, I want your position. I want to be the head. I want to be the one in charge. You know what I'm saying? I want to be the one making decisions and running things. So your desire is going to be to your husband for his position, but he's going to rule over you. So even though you're going to desire that position, he's going to be the one that's going to rule over you. And he did that by making her uh, smaller, I believe, by giving this man this brute strength and giving her, that mouth, so she could talk it. But as far as being able to get things accomplished, and I think the mind of is different. Not in the sense of a man is much more intelligent than a woman, but a man is more practical in how he operates. And that's not a shot against women. That's why women need men and men need women because of that balance. Um,
Yeah.
I think I've been seeing this brother. Well, he's not a brother, but this fella basically talk about problems in the community, and he contends that men can live without women. Uh, outside of, I mean, the only thing that we really need women for, he said, is procreation. But without a woman, you could live, your natural life. But without a man, women would die. He said women would die prematurely, like they couldn't survive without men.
You ain't talking
And
about Samuels, are you?
yeah, 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 yeah. I wasn't gonna I wasn't gonna mention it, but yeah, he's for anybody who's seen him, what's his first name? Uh, something
Kevin,
Kevin.
Samuels.
I believe.
Kevin
Kevin
Samuels,
Samuel.
yeah. Con. Oh, so y'all, everybody familiar with him? Okay, cool. So, but some of his logic makes a lot of sense. I don't. It's not like that, but some of his stuff makes a lot of sense. He points out a lot of accurate problems and a lot of issues that exist in the community that needs to be, addressed and rooted up. And as a Ak who's on marriage number two, yeah, I could definitely agree with a lot of what he, saying some of what he says. Not a lot of, but some of what he says. But yeah, I definitely agree that you know one thing he says I think that is very profound is that the only way women uh, kind of thrive in this society is because men have built it up to a point to where they feel like they can go without men. But once the infrastructure fails, then what's going to happen? Because you're not in those positions to maintain the overall structure that you enjoy, that got you in the position that you in.
Right,
But
and
yet,
it was never their purpose anyway. You had mentioned
exactly,
before that they were supposed to be a helpmeet, to
exactly,
Adam.
exactly. And I haven't done a lot of study on the matriarchal societies, but from what he says, everyone that tried to exist has failed.
Mhm.
They all fail. They all fail. I haven't, it's never been in Israel. Well, not in the sense of, you may have a woman kind of take the lead per se because of the men. What was that woman's name that
You talking about
had
the
that
judge?
Khan
The Deborah.
Deborah? Yeah, Khan. That's it. Yeah, but because if you read that account, uh, the men were very weak at that time, and
Mm-hmm.
I think the one brother still told her, if you go, then I'll go. Like what?
Yeah.
Right,
And it
right.
was this was war. Wasn't it a war that they were going to? That if you go, I'll go. Like what
Yeah, I
kind of
forget who we were fighting against. It might have been Moabites or
yeah something some
Ammonites. Yeah,
one of our ancient enemies and can you imagine telling your woman if you go, I'll go? I mean, if we're going to if it's to your mother's house, then yeah, that would make sense. But but to war to her mother's house, like well, if you're going over there, I'll go then. But if you ain't gonna go, I ain't gonna go. But if it's but to war, I mean, come on, that's not a position that any man should have in that position. And war is nothing for a woman to deal with, and for a man not to to say that. That tells you the
and
position that they were in at that time.
Khan, I forget. There was an Ashanti. Actually, there's been a few different queens over uh in Africa
Oh yeah,
that have led revolts, and it was like you just brought out. The men were weak. Uh,
yeah,
these men were cowering to the Europeans,
yeah,
and
right.
these queens was like, nah, it's not going down like that. We'll fight to the death. You know what I mean?
Kind,
And she's actually not able to accomplish this without the men, but she's actually leading the men. Encouraging the men to be men.
kind, kind. And that's sad that it gets to that place at times uh, that they are not men to. Because I'll be honest with you, Akeem, man, I've been in a position, seeing this oppression that we've been under for all these years, and I've questioned myself, like, man, what would I do in the face of a situation, in the serious face of a situation, and I've had to really encourage myself, to not sit back and record a situation or just watch, just spectate, and to you know make up in my mind like I'm gonna act. I'm not gonna just sit back for fear. I'm gonna react. I'm gonna do something. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't do something, then who else will?
Gone, gone.
And that's got to be the that's got to be the ruach of our men.
Mm-hmm.
And without that, we see what's been happening. I mean, it's a whole list of brothers and sisters who have just been unreasonably slain at the hands of these other people. And man, it's a hard pill to swallow.
Indeed,
Con,
and we're still spectators of it as well. Rather than rendering aid to a brother
Kind,
who's being choked out, we'll
kind,
film it and
yeah,
scream and holler. But you have the opportunity, and don't get me wrong, because like you, I thought about what would I do in that
right,
situation as well, and I would pray that uh that same Ruach that got into Moshe when he
kind,
saw one of his brethren being uh beat by an Egyptian. I pray that same Ruach that was in him would dwell in me.
kind,
mhm.
absolutely. And some people criticize Moshe for that, and I do not. I do not. Uh, I don't. I mean, you can only see. I mean, imagine being in Pharaoh's house for 40 years, and you know, before you were born, the order was any male child, kill it,
Mm-hmm.
kill them all,
Yeah,
kill all the males.
we gotta
You,
get fed up. All right? We gotta get
yeah,
fed up.
absolutely, absolutely,
Mhm.
and that's so I don't fault Moshe for that because that was happening before he was born. So imagine him living 40 years in Pharaoh's house and the atrocities that he see uh, falling on these Israelites, on the Hebrew people. You know,
Mhm.
how many acts of brutality a week, a day, a month did you think he witnessed? So to get to the point to where he was that just you know a happenstance? I don't think so. I think that was years and decades of
Come on.
frustration, and that Egyptian just so happened to catch it. Wrong place, wrong time, wrong Hebrew, wrong Hebrew, and yeah, he caught it on the chin.
Yeah, I was just thinking like it's a greater responsibility on us as men to be righteous men to lead effectively because like when you look at help me uh Ezra Canado, it kind of breaks down to like she was supposed to be like a reflection of us and
Con,
share in the responsibility of protecting the garden. But you know, because of what happened, she would have the desire to rule over us. So like you know, in a unrighteous situation, she would have more reasons to enact on that desire.
right,
And we have to make sure that we are leading righteous so her desires could be righteous and not to rule over us, to usurp authority over us. So that means we have to do all we can do to lead not only our families, but anybody who is in the nation correctly. Because if we
con,
don't, it all falls apart.
absolutely,
So that's like, you
Come
know, because all this is a great responsibility because, you know, we see it in unrighteous situations all the time before we got into the truth, and we just see out in the world like there is no balance. There is no, you know, the women out there they don't reflect, the men. We aren't standing on, sharing responsibilities in different ways. Like she has her role, we have our roles, but the man he makes the final decision. But if the man ain't walking right, she gonna try to make that decision for him, and then
right,
everything's gonna be in chaos.
yeah,
So like that made a greater responsibility on us to try to reflect, as it was meant to be in the beginning, the likeness and the image of the Most High, so that we can live in union, we can live in harmony, we can the man and woman can both do our roles and be at peace with that. But without the man doing his part, the woman ain't gonna be able to do her part the way she needs to. And that's one thing we have to work on achieving is making sure that we get ourselves in order so that we can be an example. And once we are an example, once we are righteous, you know, our women could be even greater. Our kids could be even greater. Our unions could be even greater.
Con.
Indeed,
Absolutely. No doubt. No
and
doubt.
I like how you included the men being righteous, because we've come from empires and you know what people would call mighty empires even, but they all fail because it's lacking that righteousness. It's lacking that fear of Yah, and
Con.
Yah has to be the foundation of everything that we do.
Con. Certainly, absolutely. And it's it's almost ironic that the conversation went this direction, because when you just said we come from empires, of course our most righteous king, our most righteous head of the nation was, of course, King David. And
Con.
I was telling you right before Yadiel got on the call about the breakdown that they went through in Samuel about Joab, uh, David's right hand. Well, his right hand to an extent. Is this great feared warrior uh, on the Sons of Thunder was going over last night, and how they had to basically rip the kingdom from the descendants of Saul. Not just killing Saul was enough, but they basically, you had Benjamin and Judah war one against the other. And man, I can't wait to really get into that aspect of love the Torah, but that history, man, that is so interesting. But uh, but yeah, so after David, once David was fully established as king and set to do righteousness, of course, after Bathsheba, uh, he after his time was up and he slept with his fathers, we were left with Solomon, and Solomon started off pretty good and just slowly started to just get away from the righteousness of the Most High. And what happened? We went down and down and
Con.
down and down, and even this captivity that we sit in right to this day, uh, mostly I believe is attributed to his actions. Uh, some of his actions, I should say. Of course, you had uh, his blood be on us and on our children. You have that as well. But I get a headache every time I think about that. but yeah, but a lot of what Solomon did, I think, is a direct reflection of us here today, of us being, to this point. So, but it was prophesied. It was prophesied. So,
Indeed.
yes, indeed. All right. Uh, so yeah. So okay. So yeah, definitely. That's 16. So 17. And to Adam, he said, "Because you have listened to the voice of your wife and have eaten of the tree in which I commanded you, saying, you shall not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for your sake. In sorrow shall you eat of it all the days of your life. In sorrow shall you eat of it all the days of your life." So, yeah, he's not going to have pleasure in that. Where before, Quab did a good job of illustrating that too, and how it was just available for them. Like there was no work, there was no sweat,
Right.
there was no my knee is sore, my ankles hurt, I'm hot. I was like, what? That none of that existed? Like, no, there was none of that until this point, when it started coming in.
Uh-huh.
Think of it here, verse 18. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth, talking about the earth, to you, and you shall eat the herb of the field. So he's saying it wasn't even thorns. So when you was going out getting, getting this food, this good food to eat, you didn't have to deal with the thorn.
Right.
It
Nothing
was
pricking
just,
you. You know what I mean? You
yeah,
grab it.
yeah,
You know.
yeah. Just you know how I mean, you ever been in the grass and you got those stickers? Oh
Hmm.
my goodness,
Yeah.
that's a
Or
whole other thing.
getting blackberries. You know, as a
Yeah,
youth. You know what I mean? Like
right,
you'd always have to mind the way that you do it because you didn't want to get poked. You know.
right. Yeah, you gonna get poked. It's almost guaranteed. The roses and my dad used to tell me about them picking cotton and how that was sharp
Yeah.
and you get
Indeed.
yeah yeah and you get
That's what
poked
my mother,
doing it.
my mother and father, growing up. That's how they made money for school clothes. You know,
Cotton.
going to pick cotton, man.
Yes indeed, yes indeed.
You know, West
Yeah,
West Tennessee, similar to Eastern Arkansas and well, really
cotton,
all of Arkansas and Mississippi,
cotton.
man. You know.
Yes indeed. Yeah, my people was from Central Arkansas, and yeah, that's what they worked at the cotton gin, the
Hmm.
cotton mill, and they went out there. Whew, man, that's
But the quality of life that that Adam had, you know what I mean? Like he saw a dramatic change.
cotton.
For us, we're just conditioned for this hardship. And
Yeah,
it reminds me of what Hamashiach spoke in John chapter 16, verse 33. And it reads, "These things have I spoken unto you, that in me ye might have peace. In the world ye shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world." So, imagine how it's gonna be for us and how you know, it's gonna be awesome, man. Like to be somewhere where we're not getting tired, where we don't have to deal with
man.
sickness. You know what I mean?
Right, right, right. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Praise Yah. I can't wait for that day to come. I cannot wait for that day. That when you elevate it to that level and not have to deal with all of this. Is one thing to even if we were in our own land, these are things you would still have to deal with. But multiply that with captivity. Not only you got to work for everything, and you got to deal with a sore back and tired muscles. Uh, you know, now you got these other people ruling over you. So yeah, I mean, whew. And it's not even we're not even in rigorous. We're not. It's not rigorous for us now. It's kind of we're in a chattel um, position. So man, it's rough stuff. Thorns and thistles in the herb of the field. So I wonder why he mentioned that as his curse, in the herb of the field shall you eat. Like, was that a part of the curse? I mean, that's part of the curse. Obviously, it's in verse 18. So what was were we supposed to only eat fruits as opposed to herbs?
Yeah, I was just thinking like before this, we see that it said every let's say every seed bearing fruit of the field you should eat,
Okay, okay,
and like you think like a herb, they uh they don't enclose on a seed like you just eat like the leaves, the products
okay.
of, but it's not the same as a fruit or a vegetable that has the seed within it. So I'm thinking maybe that's the reason why he said that because that will become a part of our diet now as well. Because maybe
Well, and I
the
wonder also.
because outside of the garden, they didn't have access to the tree of life. They didn't have, it's probably was a lot easier just to turn around and pick something. But maybe like you talking about the toil it'll be harder for us to find things to eat, so we're gonna have to eat these herbs now as well.
Kind. Well, and I wonder also did that kind of allude to the sickness that we would be faced with, and trying to eat these things to help it.
Yes,
So that
So,
we,
that could be.
yeah, I didn't think about that, but yeah, like that's the remedy for sickness. You know what I mean?
kind. A lot of dealing with those herbs. Nothing like having a good herbalist on in your phone. So kind, yes indeed. Let's see. Yeah, verse 19. It says, "In the sweat of your face shall you eat bread till you return into the ground, for out of it was you taken, for dust you are, and unto dust shall you return." So, yep, you would come out of dust and you would go back to dust. So, that definitely means that the intention that the Most High intended for us to live and not die, but as part of the curse, because He warned you in the last chapter, the day you eat of it, you shall surely die. Now you got to die. You could have lived, you could have had life. Now
Gone.
you got to die. You got to go back to the dust that you was. Like, man, that is
I don't know about y'all parents, but that remind me of when my parents used to be like, "I brought you in this world, and I'll take you out."
right,
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 right.
right. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah.
And
So that's Oh, go ahead.
uh, I still see the the fulfillment and uh the grace that we have. He still loved us.
Okay.
And his intention was for us to be able to return to how things are right here, what we're reading about before this downfall.
Before.
And we have an opportunity for that. You know what I mean? Through his son. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like once his son comes and things are returned, there won't be any more death for he's defeated that, uh no more sickness, you know what I mean? So it's like a restoration of to how things were for us in the garden.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, speaking of that, we didn't even look at. Did we look at the word for Eden? For Eden?
I think we did. It was just garden. I think no, we looked up garden. Now we didn't look up Eden.
Yeah. Kind. I believe it means paradise. I believe it means paradise. Let me just double. Let me find it here. If you see it, let me know so we can look at it. Might be might be chapter 2. We might yeah, not definitely. I know it's definitely in chapter 2. Uh,
It's in 3:23.
3:23.
Eden. So you'll find Eden.
Oh, 3:23.
Yes.
Okay. You got the here it is. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I believe that's paradise. Went over that without clicking on that. 17 times pleasure. First habitation created. No. Reign of Adam's home. Eden. Yeah. Well, pleasure. I guess it's pleasure the root word of paradise. Come almost, not quite. What is this? Oh, that's Greek. That's Greek. Okay. Yeah, that's that Greek. Okay. Okay. Um, okay. Yeah, I was thinking paradise, but I guess pleasure. I was confusing the two P words. So,
Yeah, I see. Yeah, eating equals pleasure or luxury, dainty,
luxury. Yeah.
delight, finery.
I mean, we would consider that to be somewhat of a paradise where we're lust free and no death. You know what I mean? Like that's
Con.
it's similar to a paradise or our belief in what a paradise is like.
Con. Yeah. Consider. Well, ironically, now I just thought I had a whole different thought because during the creation, you had the evening, then the morning, and you had the days pass in that manner. But in Revelation, he said there will be no more. There will be no more. Basically, no more night. So it wouldn't be the evening and the morning. It would be just day because of the light of of the Messiah and the Most High and the other people. I believe other people as well. Um, so there would be no more night. He said no more sun or moon. So I mean that would definitely make a paradise. Is what I'm alluding to. When it's
Con,
daytime, especially if you don't have to. If there's no need to sleep, you just get to enjoy the all this time, and you just never get tired. You don't have to recharge because you always charged. Like, man, imagine that. It's the Most High don't sleep nor slumber, and so we know Hamashiach was made like him. And Shaul said that Paul said that when he returned, we shall be like him. So that means we're gonna have all those same attributes if we count it worthy.
con.
Y'all ever thought about that? Like no more sleep. Imagine life with no sleep. You just and you never and not in the sense of I'm a walking zombie. I mean you just good. That's I don't even think that's fathomable. I don't think we can even wrap our minds around that
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like so
because the
conditioned to having to rest and
kind
you
because our
know
experience with that if you've been up for more than 24 hours, it's not been pleasant. Your body is like, I gotta sleep, man. I gotta get some rest. You get that headache, and oh yeah,
Hey, yeah, man. I was a residential manager for rest care about 6, 7 years ago, and I'd have different periods where I couldn't get staff to come in to relieve me. So, I'd be up like 36, 37 hours before be able to get some rest. And talking about irritable, you know what I mean? Like every
yeah,
little thing setting me off, man.
right, kind, yeah. Imagine being up, not even counting hours. I mean, it's always day. It's no. There's always light. There's no darkness. It's like, man, what I'm saying. You can't even put that to your. I can't even imagine that. Is what I'm trying to say. Like what that would really be without you. That's something you just got to experience. So, all right, where we at? This is sweat. Dust you shall return. Yeah, the curse of death. Okay, verse 20. Verse 20. And Adam called his wife's name Eve because she was the mother of all living. All right, so I definitely want to click on her name there. That's a why. Right, Yalia?
Con.
He pronounced it Hava. Hava. It means life or living. First woman, wife of Adam. Compared Arabic. Mother of every. Call his wife because. Yeah, so.
Yeah, if you look at the look at the word for Eve, Hava
Uh-huh.
or Hawa, you'll see it's it's a noun proper feminine.
Con. Proper feminine noun right there. Look, and this come from Wahe. Hey Wahe. Hey Wahe. If I look at it, am I saying that right? Am I looking at that right? Hey Wahe.
Um, yeah, Hey Wav Hey, that's the characters. I'm not sure. You click on it, see how to pronounce it, because it's the same characters, but it has different uh you pronounce the vowels differently.
Uh, oh, that just took me to the same. That's back to Hawaii. Hava is what he says. Uh, hmm. Okay. Yeah, that puts it to a verb as opposed to a proper female noun.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So you can use it
And this
as
has
someone name, but also
that
use it as a verb.
yeah. So I told y'all last night I got to focus on just that alphabet because boy, once you get into the grammar, um, you know, eventually I will and I'll get to that point. But man, it's a lot. It's a lot. It seems so overwhelming, but you know, I can definitely learn that alphabet. I can definitely know that much of it. So,
My personal Hebrew expert
all
over
right.
here, she has a book that she said helps with learning
Oh
the
yeah,
language. Yeah.
personal Hebrew expert.
Yeah. She's my
Hey, yeah,
personal
we're going to have
Hebrew.
to check out that. Yeah, we're going to check out that course. Probably in the coming, maybe later this year. Uh, like I said, my first thing I definitely got to get that alphabet. So by this, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna put it on record right here on the live stream. We got anybody watching? Let's see. No, nobody's watching. That's okay. Well, I'm putting it right here on the live stream. The Akazaki Yahoo. By my plan is, y'all willing, by the first quarter to have the alphabet down. By the end of this, we're going into the second month on the Gregorian calendar. Before the third month is complete, I should at least have 50% of it completed. I should know it and be able to write it and recognize it by that time. So I'm going to seriously pursue this thing and not just, talk about it. So, all right, that's on record. 50%
Hold
by.
on, I'm gonna let my Isha tell you the book that she got how to learn the
Okay,
language.
okay.
Shalom, shalom, Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Yeah, so if you go on to Amazon, there's a book called, I believe it is, Learning Biblical Hebrew. And basically, it introduces you to the Hebrew alphabet. So it teaches you how to pronounce it, but then it also teaches you how the Hebrew word is structured. And then it also goes into the genitives, which is getting into, masculine, feminine uh, structures. And then I I believe it goes into the tenses as well. So you have, I think it's called like Heath Kyle, and then you have all the other ones that just kind of come with it. So it breaks all of that down, and you can basically just have it as like a self-paced learning guide.
Okay.
It's the book, and then there's also the workbook that you can purchase as well. Now, like I've been just kind of diving in and out of the Hebrew and trying to learn it and whatnot, but I've just recently just kind of was like, oh, well, let me just kind of sit down and really, really try to learn it. I personally don't use the workbook, but I mean, I wouldn't, suggest against it. But that's one of them. And then also there's some other aids that you can get, which is like the Brown Driver Briggs Concordance.
Uh-huh.
So that's a breakdown of Hebrew. And then there's also biblical etymology, which allows you, once you get the book or whatever, it has like so if you have like a word like, I think it was Kanego or something like that. Well, it actually breaks that word down to the root, so where you get a deeper understanding of it. And there's some other ones out there as well. But yeah.
Okay. Told her. I'm definitely gonna check into that. I searched that. I searched that when you said it, and I do see it look like a 3 set. I'll probably look at it after the 7th and see what it's about. Kind of expensive, but maybe worth having. Do you have that? Do you have that workbook?
Yeah, I think I have
Okay.
it with me here in
So
Kentucky.
you
I'm not
you just
100%
haven't really dealt
sure.
with it much, but right.
Yeah, I haven't really dealt much with it. I think I
Okay.
probably opened it up maybe once or twice or whatever. Um, but I usually just kind of, pen and paper it. It does have, um, I guess within the workbook, it has like some practicing um options for you. Because like right now, and I think I'm on like chapter 3, and so basically it wants me to kind of go through and start reading, Genesis. I think it was like Genesis 1 through 6 or something like that. Chapter 1, 1 through 6, and trying to identify, uh, certain particular structures within the
Uh-huh.
Hebrew wording.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I may or may not use it. Like, I mean, right now I don't use it. I don't know if I will intend in the future to use it. Because right now, I mean, it's just basically collecting dust, to be honest. So,
Kind. I got you. Okay. Well, yeah, I appreciate that. I'll definitely look into that and see what I can see. Uh,
okay.
appreciate it, Coach.
Yeah, that's my Hebrew expert.
I say as personal Hebrew expert, that's a beautiful thing. Ken, I didn't realize you had dropped out. I heard my
Yeah,
phone beep, and then I
I
looked at
was
my phone. I
trying
was like,
to.
Kenaniah.
Yeah, I was trying to hear that word being pronounced on my blue letter, and when I did that, y'all's
It
volume
dropped you
got
out.
real low, so I exited out and came back in. But when I came back in, it said that I was just on the backstage.
Oh, gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah. See, that next, I got to get that cord so I can connect my laptop to the double screen. So I'm gonna leave that other screen up on all the time, and then I'll have the second screen. So that way, I can always monitor what's going on that back. Because right now it's one screen, so I'm seeing what y'all seeing right now. But
Gone.
when I go back, well, I don't know. I'm not even seeing what y'all seeing. I'm seeing actually, I'm seeing the actual um, page, so I'm not even seeing everything y'all seeing. I think y'all seeing more than I am.
Well, I just see your the blue letter pulled up, or I don't know if that's a lexicon or.
Okay, yeah. Blue letter. See, when I go back, so y'all don't see. Maybe y'all don't see this part of it. So when I click on this other page, I see me, Yadiel, and Kidanaya, and then I see the blue letter. But y'all don't see that.
Yeah, that's what I see as well.
See,
Okay,
It,
kind.
the pictures of the icons of us are to the left,
To yeah,
not perpendicular but vertical.
kind.
yeah,
So, but when I go here, when I click on the tab that I'm streaming from, the blue letter, that's how I'm able to control this page. I can't do it from here from on this part of it. So I can just watch it. Yeah, it won't let me do that. So that's interesting. All right. Let's go and get this. We almost to the end here. Where we at? She was the mother of all living. So, of course, the one of the big speaks or discussions have been, were they alone? Were these the only two people, or is that something that that Christianity came up with? Um, I don't believe that's something Christianity came up with. I believe yes, they were alone because it says clearly because she was the mother of all living. Everybody that was alive, they came from her.
Right.
So if she was not, if she had been taken from a family, how are you going to be the mother of the living, of all living? Not the. It'd be different if it said the living.
Uh-huh. And
Well,
and
you
and
know
we
what?
even know how she was created. She was taken
Kind,
from his rib.
kind, absolutely. Living. Let's look at that word here. Because I just noticed that. Ironically, feminine now, masculine now. Huh. Kai. Yeah, that's life. Live. There we go with that. With that again, and I know if we go to the maybe we'll get some explanation if we go to the interlinear. But you see, here again we have of all, and then just living is the word that it gives us. But I guess if we okay, now it's starting to make sense. Honestly. So the root word, this is the root of it. And so that's how they're able to come to this, where they can put those other words there, but just using this as the base. Because so okay. I'm just starting to click. Y'all get that? Am I making sense?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like your
Okay.
prefix and suffixes can change the meaning.
Con, con. That's what you. Yeah, it's just done. It's just sinking in. You said that last night, and now it's sinking into my
Yeah.
brain.
Con.
It was sitting on top last night, and to this point now, just sinking in now, which is strange, but yeah. So I'm getting it now. I'm getting it. So really, just
Hallelujah.
to right, really just to understand, uh, huh? So just getting all of that, that's like, man, that is so. It seems so. Trying to think of a greater word for big or large, like enormous. Like how am I gonna learn this? Like that's like a be a lot. Like you look at one word and then you can say it in, well, we do it all the time in English, but
Yeah.
when we conjugate our verbs and whatever the case, use different tenses, uh, then, now, and uh, will, future, past, present, future. But shoot, we
Con.
learned this yeah, we learned this in school, and for years. But man, okay, let me get back focused. I'm all over. All right, 21. To Adam also, and to his wife, did Yahuwah power make coats of skins and covered them. So, what's that about? The coats of skins. Well, yeah, I got input on that.
Yeah, I've been a part of a few different studies, man, and it suggested that this was the first sacrifice. You know, like I forget exactly if we said it was a sin offering or But in order for them to get those skins, something was killed, and we're not
Right.
told exactly what it was, but we know that it was the skins of animals. So
Right.
we don't read verbatim those words where it's saying that a sacrifice was made, but
Right.
something did die.
Something died. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I think that goes without saying. Coastal skin. Uh, Not only that something happened here, not only did something die, but was it the Most High that made the sacrifice, or was it how did that come about? It said and unto Adam and his wife did Yahuwah power make coats of skin and clothe them. So we know that Melchizedek is the king, high priest king, and one is the high priest and the king, and we know who Melchizedek is, and so to be the high priest is the one that makes the sacrifice. So
I've heard
I
that
believe in.
sorry, Sleeka.
Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
I was saying, I've heard that the garments of skin was uh like them going from a spiritual being to getting like the flesh that we have today. Have
Uh-huh.
y'all heard that before?
Yeah,
Con.
that's definitely that's more than reasonable.
Mhm. And
Definitely.
I
Go ahead. I was just saying definitely transitional.
Yeah, but I've heard that transition was remember how we talked about briefly yesterday, their eyes being open.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
that's how I heard that reference before. That they go from a spiritual to a more fleshly being at that point. But I'm not sure. But we do know that something occurred, something different with
Okay.
Adam and his wife.
Okay.
Huh.
I mean, look at the order of events. They do the crime. They they transgress the instruction. They called out on it. They come clean. They come clean, make excuses, whatever the case, and they get the punishment. And now they're at a place where it's been atoned. Well, not necessarily atoned, I should say, but it's the sacrifice was made. We see this transition where they go from the spiritual to the flesh. Their nakedness is exposed, and they're afraid, and now they've got these animal uh, coverings. But true. Ironically, we don't even. I mean, every now and again we wear animals. I think in the wintertime, you get to the leather jacket on or your leather coat. But most of the year we wear plants. Most of the stuff we wear is linen or cotton, and yeah, occasionally I guess you wear silk, and
Yeah, I think that leather is like really the only animal that I do wear. Like honestly,
yeah, cotton.
maybe my shoes.
Oh
Most of
yeah,
my
yeah,
shoes have
yeah,
some leather on them.
leather. Yeah, yeah. Everything else is out of the ground. Most of, you can wear polyester. I think that's like a man-made thing, GMO type of thing. Uh, yeah, I never thought about that until now. Verse 22. And Yahuwah Power said, "Behold, the man has become as one of us to know good and evil. And now, lest he put forth his hand and take also of the tree of Kai, life, and eat and live forever. So if you when you finish watching that Two Saviors and Two Trees, what you'll find is that basically uh, there was a choice to be made here, and when given that choice, the choice was life or death, and when given the choice, it chose death. I don't know how, I don't know why, but it would seem like if it was presented in that manner, of course you would say life. I mean, that's what you say, but actions say something completely different. You know, one thing that greatly coincides with that is something I hate passionately: doggone cigarettes. I despise cigarettes. They smell so horrible, and uh, to see people smoke after in the 80s or going into the 90s, the Surgeon General made them start putting warnings on that package. The Surgeon General said this could cause cancer. Cancer is equivalent to death. You're going to get cancer and die from using this product. And they still continue to sell at a unreasonable rate. And when I moved here, I was shocked at the number of people I see smoking. I mean, it is unreasonable. I mean, in where I was from in Little Rock, Arkansas, I mean, certain types of people smoked. Like it was unusual. Like when you see a regular person with a job pull out a cigarette, you like, what's wrong with you? Like, what you doing smoking? Either they picked up on it when they were young, and they smoke occasionally. They don't smoke like a chain smoke. These people out here, oh my goodness, all this smoke. I had to get. I ain't gonna say get used to it because I don't get used to it. But man, to see these people just smoke back to back to back, I can smell it every time when I'm on the road. I can smell the people in front of me smoking. The wind catch it. I'm like, somebody's smoking. I just hate it. And it's a choice of death because it's not immediate. If you hit it and died, I'm sure people wouldn't smoke it. But because it takes time and it takes a toll, I don't I don't get it. And don't get me wrong now, I never could smoke cigarettes. I never could smoke cigarettes, but I used to smoke cigars of various types when I was a child and thought it was cool. But man, I knew that I knew it wasn't good for me, but I did it mainly because I was trying to fit in. But I thank the Most High, He took that out of me, and yeah, so I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, it was. I started off smoking Black and Milds, and
Yeah,
that's when I was
that was mine.
actually my senior year in high school was when I started smoking Black and Milds, and then from there it went to cigarettes. And once you stop smoking them cigarettes, man, you can smell it on people, and
Yeah,
it's like you get super duper sense of smell, man. It's almost you
right.
can smell
Kind,
everything.
kind. And it's ironic. My mother smoked when I was a youth, and I used to think back then. I used to think cigarettes smelled good. I think because my mother was doing it. But as I got older, I'm like, man, that stuff stink. I mean, it don't smell bad. It stank like ugh. It's a horrible, horrible smell, especially after they just been smoking it and then that lingering smell. Oh, that's the worst. It smells bad when it's being done in the air, but that lingering smell is worse than the than the actual smoke smell. But that's just an example of people choosing death over life. And you know, he had the opportunity to choose. Like he could have took the tree of life. He's like, well, let's not eat that tree. Let's eat this tree. He didn't say we couldn't eat this tree. It's the one he said don't eat it, or you're gonna die. That's the one I want to eat. That's the one I have to try that one. Like I don't have to try that. I don't want it.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing to me. They could have ate the tree of life all day, all night,
yeah,
forever.
forever, and we would be in such a different position right now.
And my beloved Daoud voice forever.
Man, I mean, when you had the tree of Kai and you had the tree of death, how do you choose the tree of death? I don't. Again, Adam did not have an example, and if he would have known what we knew, there's no way he would have chosen it. He would have. There's no way. There's no way. It's not possible. I can't fathom a scenario where you can put anybody today who with any knowledge in his position and they choose death over life.
Well, that's why we have to, use these examples, because a lot of situations we see was like unique situations at that time, because nothing like that had happened before.
Right.
So like we see where they messed up, so we gotta know not to make the same mistake.
Okay. Yes, indeed.
Like even I think about like when the Most High came to Abraham and said that his wife was gonna bear a seed for him.
Yeah, and she laughed.
Yeah, and what ended up happening, Ishmael, and then Isaac came later.
Yeah.
Then you look with John the Baptist with his father, that he was told he was gonna have a child, but they shut his mouth up where he couldn't speak.
Right. He
was
was
like,
how?
They about to make the same mistake twice.
Right. Right. Another good example of that is was Gideon. Gideon went through how many different tests did he, how many different methods of proof did he ask for? Like, if that's the case, then make the dew only on the fleece. Okay, make the dew not on the fleece. Okay, now make the dew like what? Come on, man. How many? You know what I'm saying? One of those was substantial enough, and he kept doing it. And he stayed patient with it. Like I would have been frustrated after the second one, definitely, but the first one, I mean, who else can put dew in one place and not another? And this is what I want you to do. Do it. You know what I'm saying? But man, that's miraculous. But yeah, that's a big that's a big transition of time from Abraham to the birth of Yachanan the Immerser. Yeah, and his father was like, and they had the book, so they had the story. So yeah, oh, you gonna question me? You don't talk.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. And not only that, I mean, since then you had since Abraham, you had Samson. You have that story. You have the Book of Judges. That occurred, and here I am. I'm showing you that I'm trying to remember. How did he know that was? How did they know that he was a messenger? You recall that?
Talking about with Abraham?
No, with the one that came to the parents of John the Baptist.
I have to go
Mm.
back and look. I can't remember
I
specifically.
can't remember it off the top either. But I think it was something miraculous. I don't think it was something like, I don't think it was a regular human type of situation. Like this could be a regular man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it was something blatantly obvious that this is a message of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Like, not a not something simple like, oh, this could be a cat on the street. You know, just a regular person. Like, I think it was something. You know what I'm saying? Miraculous. But yeah. If you find that out, let me know. We're gonna march on here before we. How much time we get? We 135. Okay, so we doing pretty good. We almost close to 2 hours. So we'll finish this definitely, and we'll get into the chapter 4 a little bit before we conclude. Uh, yeah. So they chose the death over life. Therefore, Yahuwah power. This is verse 23. Therefore, Yahuwah power sent them forth from the Garden of Eden to till the ground from which they were taken. So, ironically, we don't get a location as to, hold on, maybe we do, 23, 24. Hold on, let me look at this. Let's read this one. It says, so he drove out the man and he placed, oh no, this is about the garden. So we don't get a location as to where Adam, Adam and Eve went and Hawa went to at this point. We just know that they left the garden. So they left paradise or pleasure. They had to leave this place. And verse 24, it says, and he drove out the man and placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubim. So this is that messengers or angels?
Slakia, you said that it sent them east of the Garden of Eden.
Oh no. No,
Okay.
he no 28 24, I mean, it says that he drove out the man and placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubim. And I was trying to see
Okay.
what this word cherubim was. Cherubims was. $37.42. OB. Kerub. Kerub. He said Kerub. I hate taking instruction from another for my own stuff, Kerub. I hate that. But I've studied it. I have not. I'm trying to study. And the following marriage. So I'm trying to see what this word is really speaking of. As a chariot of Yahuwah. Oh, an angelic being. Okay, so it was an angel. Okay, I looked right past this one. An angelic being. So yeah, he put messengers there as guardians of Eden, as flanking the Most High's throne, as the image of hovering over the Ark of the Covenant. Okay. So yeah, this was like what we've come to know as angels, but the real deal, Malachim. So they were there, put there to guard it from them, so they don't try to come back in. Like that was paradise. We need to go back. Like nope, can't come back in here. It says, and a flaming sword which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life. Now, I'll be honest with y'all, I don't have any clue what this flaming sword is. I mean, is it a literal sword that was on fire?
I mean, that's the idea that I've always had in my head, but that you're right. It doesn't necessarily mean that. But a sword is some type of offensive weapon.
Yeah, right. A flaming whirling sword that turned every way. Yeah, that's definitely to keep them from trying to come back, because it will be natural when you had everything good. You want to go back to that place. You ever been to you ever been on vacation to a place that's beautiful? I've been to Jamaica once, and I would love to be back. It was being on that beach, man. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Flaming swords was turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life. So the main concern was to guard the tree of life. And I've heard people say, if by chance after the sin, if they would have took the tree of life and ate it, then if this flesh would live forever. And that would be that's you've heard that too?
Yes.
Yeah, that's why he was so adamant about guarding it. That why it was such an important thing, because they didn't want that. He didn't want that to happen, because that would conflict basically everything.
Mm-hmm.
So if your flesh, which is what man really want his flesh to live forever.
I'm looking at
I
the
don't want.
word for turn, like flaming sword, turning every way. It says to turn, overthrow, overturn, to turn about, turn over, turn around, to change, transform. So it's like deliberate and like keeping away, turning away, like no matter which way they try to get in there,
Right.
that sword's gonna meet them.
Right. Yeah. You can't get around it. Basically, you can't get around this. You cannot. Basically, it was basically saying you cannot get to this tree of life. You can't get there. I can't let you have it. Now that you got this sin on you, I cannot let you get to this tree of life.
And haven't we read before that the chariots also turn about in every direction and each way? And the reason I thought about that, because like I want to say that was the last description of that cherub was a chariot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did get that from the cherub. Let's go back to that real quick. Yeah, it did say chariot. Yeah, as chariot of Yahuwah.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll probably get
So
into it
that
more later.
Yeah, kind.
I was just saying, like these angelic beings, these messengers, these cherubims, seraphims, all these heavenly creatures, deities, or whatever you call them. Like, I don't see how they got like these, images that we see today in like movies, whatever. How they look all beautiful and peaceful, and like when you, especially I think it's in Isaiah when you get into some of the descriptions of.
Right.
The
It's
horrible
like
things.
it's like somebody might think they looking at a demon, but like it's a messenger of Yah, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I don't know where they get like these other depictions from.
What was the Ak who he lost his whole, he couldn't control his body. He couldn't sit up. He couldn't stand up. He couldn't, I mean, he was just out. from the sight of him of the was it wasn't Ezekiel? Was it Ezekiel? Where he talked about how he was just he couldn't even he couldn't feel his legs.
Ezekiel lost his sight, but I don't know about his whole body.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm not sure.
you remember that one? I want to say it was Isaiah. I want to say, I may be wrong.
And I know Alicia was there when Elijah was taken by the chariot. So maybe Alicia.
Let me see if I can find it. Just real quick here. No. Okay. Hold on. This may be it. Let me see. This is Isaiah 59. Let me see what that says. Let me see. Oh, shucks. Their feet run to evil and make their heads. I'm just looking here. A confession of wickedness. Yeah. Backwards justice is standing. Huh. Okay. I can't. There is no judgment. Yeah, I remember seeing it because I was like, "Good grief!" It painted such a picture. It
Right,
was
right. It
like,
was something
whew,
something terrible to see, man. You know,
yeah,
something frightening.
yeah, yeah. I can't find it, but okay, no sweat. Well, good news, gentlemen. We made it. Unless you got anything else, we made it out of 3.
You know, the only thing that I would add is uh Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the power and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. You know,
Right.
they were given a command, and you know they were disobedient, and from that, you know, it's what we would call in today's words, you know, butterfly effect. You know, all these things
Okay.
have transpired just due to this one act of disobedience, man.
Okay. Yes, indeed, and again, that's the example that we have to really learn from. So, you know, uh, like I said, Adam is one they love to pick on. People love to pick on David. Oh, David did this and David did that. And David was able to get back into the good graces of the Most High to the point where his place in the kingdom is already solidified. Like
Indeed.
it's in the book. It's written in the book that he's not only going to be in the kingdom, he's going to be a prince in the kingdom.
And the scepter will not depart from his seed.
Khan. Yeah, that's because Hamashiach coming through his line. But that's. I mean, imagine the body of work that the I want to call him the elder, but imagine that the work that he had to do to be solidified already. Like you got people in the New Testament talking about your place in the kingdom. Like, man, that is beautiful. That is a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? Like we are. We trying to endure to the end. You know, to the end of our days. And this brother endured, came back from messing up, and still got his place.
Right.
And
Indeed.
that's a beautiful story.
Yeah, he showed us how to, honestly repent and like accept where we messed up. So
Con,
like
con,
the difference between him and like Cain, for example, is like instead of owning up to it, he made other excuses or reasons. But
right,
that he knew he messed up once he realized it. He repented, he accepted punishment, and he continued doing the work.
con, con. Yeah,
Indeed.
when you read, you know, speaking of Cain, what he said, that punishment is too harsh. And then you look at the punishment of David. He said, "You are that man, and the sword shall never depart from your house." It's like, forgive me. Like, man, like, I can't even say like your judgment is fair. Like your judgment is fair. I can't speak against it.
Con.
It's like that's the answer that but okay, so how did he know how to do that? I mean, that's something I've learned in the truth, but only from these studies. So was his ruach just that, was his ruach just such that he knew that was in him, or I don't know. I mean, how it's
You
it's
know,
it's natural
it
for man to make excuses.
yeah, but it's very telling. This next chapter with Cain, it was something off. You know what I mean? Like with even the way he would bring his offering. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Like it was something off with him.
okay. Yeah, he definitely was not. Uh, he definitely was a different was a different type of seed. You can tell that seed was strange. I mean, even his mother, uh, even his mother when she acknowledged him. Yeah, let me see, we got a couple more minutes. We can read just a couple of these. It's just we're not even at 2 hours yet, so yeah, we can get to 2 hours, I guess. If that's cool. Y'all cool with that?
Con.
Okay,
Uh,
okay, okay. So let's go and hit verse 1, chapter 4 and verse 1. It says, "And Adam knew Hawa, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from Yahuwah." Now that is extraordinary because for a woman to say, I have gotten a man, that is not typical language when a baby is born.
Right. It's what did she consider a dime? It's it's just eyebrow raising. You know what I mean? It makes us like,
Kind,
what did she mean by that?
kind. That is a good question. I don't know if I don't think is that answered in this book,
I
because
yeah, if I've read over it, if it is,
yeah, kind. I don't remember seeing it. Is what I definitely not. I don't remember seeing it. Um, I mean, you can look at that. It's not a euphemism or anything of that nature. Let me see. 376. I think that is that a dot. Hold up. That's Ish. That's a husband.
wow. Well, yeah. Man, yep.
Hold up. Oh, okay. Well, it says man. It don't say husband. Wait, okay. It says man, male, contrast female to male. Yeah, husband.
yeah, but Ish
That is
is
strange.
man. Isha is it's
Wife.
a word for woman, but we use it as
Right.
wife as well. But you use it as just man or husband, or Isha you use as woman or wife.
So would a man say, you know how we be like, my man, you know what I'm saying? Would a man say, I don't know the word for hot for mine, but would you look at another man and be like something ish, you know, whatever
Yeah,
mine is?
yeah. I
I
don't
don't
think
think
our
that's
ancestors. I don't think they spoke like that at all. You go get the looks like you a sodomite or something like that if you say, you know what
right, kind. No, I agree with you 100%. But
I'm gonna
the
stick with that.
reason I brought that up is because uh, I think if you were to talk like that, like you'd be like my man. You know what I'm saying? Like it would be more like my Adam, you know, Adam being man, my Adam, you know, as opposed to Ish, like my, because we
okay,
associate,
con.
I associate Ish with you know, completely with husband. Like that is my wife. I told her, she said, "What's the Hebrew word for husband?" And I think at first I almost said Isha. No, she said, "What's the Hebrew word for wife?" And I said Isha. And she said, "Well, what's the word for husband?" I was like Ish. And so yeah, she called me her Ish, and she's my Isha. So
And another word for husband, my wife just reminded me was Baal. Baal
what?
also means husband. Yeah.
BAAL?
Yes.
Wow, that's the. I know that's a Hebrew word, but that's one I don't even use.
Mm.
You know, I know it means like master or
Hmm.
LORD. That's another reason why I don't use that LORD because I know it goes back
Just
to
like
that
we was looking
BAAL.
at just like we were looking at the name of Eve, how you can use it as a proper noun, or you use it
Uh-huh.
as a verb to mean something else. Like you can either use it as a name of a deity that one against the Most High, or but
Right.
just to use it as a description, or what would it be? Yeah, as husband.
As husband. Oh, how you change it? How you congregate it?
Yeah. It's like we're not using it as a name at that point. We're just using it in a different form to mean husband.
Yeah, and see, I understand. I understand that BAAL word is not his name. It's referencing the it uses that to reference it, like because it really stands for that MAS, you know, master or that LORD. I get that, but that's a direct association because they referenced him as that master um, with the LORD, meaning the LORD. Uh, that was still the I don't know. I guess it's hard for my mind to separate that, like because I associate that with evil. You know what I'm saying? In my mind, that's me. I mean, that's how I keep it straight. I associate that with evil. That's why I spell it. I'm trying to say it. Like I don't want that name to be heard out of my mouth. Now, but it's like an edification. Yes, we talked about this before you was on the call like last week, Yaliel. Uh, you know, a lot of these words, like we don't say. I don't say the LORD, GOD. You know, and I think you know that from that from being around
Yeah,
me. Yeah,
color.
yeah. So, but I hear people say it, and I'm like, it don't even sit well with me because in my mind is associated with evil. So you know, it's just not.
Yeah,
But
I
this is oh
I
man,
don't use like different names in association with the Most High, or to if it's the name of a deity. But if I'm using it in a different context,
okay,
I don't have no
okay.
problem using it. 'Cause-
Okay.
You know, I like when I hear, brothers say LORD or GOD, it just it pretty much lets me know, and it's not all, this doesn't always hold up because it's people that are far more learned than me that use it, but I can kind of think of where their learning is at, like when I hear them say it, like, and I'm more used to Christians that are in the church using it,
yeah.
but I mean you got certain camps that use it pretty liberally as well, and some of these brothers are much more versed
Well
than me,
learned.
but you know
Yeah, I mean, you can always go back to the boys in purple, and that's all they use. They don't use Yah, they don't use Yahweh, they don't use Yahuwah, they don't use Yehoah, they don't use nothing. It's LORD, GOD,
and
JC.
and what it makes me do, like when I do hear it, I automatically think, okay, well, is this person, are they celebrating pagan days? You know what I mean?
Right.
Because
Kind,
because
kind.
you start wondering about what they do at home,
Right.
or you know what I mean?
Absolutely, because you associated with that because that's what when you was saying that when I was saying LORD, that's what I was doing. That's where I got it from. I got it from the church, and in the church on 1225 there was a tree in the church.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's the association. So I hit this back button too early. I wanted to hit these other words here. Um, servant, mankind, champion. That's an interesting word, champion. Great man, whosoever, and each. So yeah, that's I just don't understand what her thinking was when she said man. When she looked at this baby and said, I've gotten a man from Yahuwah. And I don't know if anybody can answer that besides her. Because unless she talked about it somewhere that I haven't seen, you know. I know they got don't they have the book of Adam and Eve?
God, many years ago, like I checked it out, and it's like a couple of books
Oh, is it?
of Adam and Eve, but not I hadn't looked at them since I've been in this walk for the most part.
Okay, kind. I wonder if it's like an assigned author or is it a legitimate writing? Uh, that's the problem with some of those extra books is that they're not translated from something. They have an author. They're attributed to an author. So where did this person get it? They claimed it to have an inspired. I don't know, but that's interesting. Or yeah, I wouldn't want to hear from them now. If there's something that's substantial that we can see that this has been, written by them, or at the time, I guess when the time comes, we can talk to them and ask them, what was you thinking when you said that? Like, are you questioning me? Like, no, I'm just curious. Yeah, and think about this though. Think about this. This just hit me in my head. This just landed on my brain. Hawa is the beginning of man. So we all would call her mother. Will we not?
Con,
Right.
indeed.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like, wow. Like, the level of reverence you'd have to have for both of them, especially for Adam, but even for her, she is all of this came out of her. That's like, wow. That's
You
like,
know,
wow.
do we know Noah's wife's name?
It's not mentioned. It's not mentioned, and it's not even and I don't even know if his sons are from the same woman because it's not
I
mentioned.
never thought about that.
Yeah, it's not mentioned. And we'll get to that point when we get into his time. But Ham it's thought that Ham, took up laid with his father's wife. And we see that uh, three times in the script with Ham, with Reuben, and with
One of Dawid's sons.
David's son. Those three times that I can recall, and come to find out that was actually a ritual, not a ritual, but a kind of a custom to show when you were taking over somebody else's kingdom, you would lay with their wife. So that's kind of what Reuben was calling himself going for. And I don't know. Now that's what I've heard. I haven't talked to Reuben, but man, that's like, can you imagine that? Like, okay, I'm gonna be the king, so now I got to lay with the king's wife. Like what? Or I'm gonna be the head of the family. I got to lay with his wife. Like, how do you even come to that? How do you even get to that point? I don't even know.
Do you know where that what group that came from?
What?
That custom, was it Canaanites? Was it? Do you know where
Oh,
it came from?
I don't know. I don't. I mean, the first to do it that we can see in the text is was was Ham.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was before Canaan. Yeah, Canaan was spawned from that. And then when you go into Leviticus 18, it says he forbade us to do anything like that. To anybody close to you, even your father's wife, your father's wife. He didn't say your mother. He said your father's wife. So even if it's not your mother, you still don't do it.
Right.
So yeah, I mean that's how war happened from things like that. You've had families kill each other because somebody laid with somebody's wife or took off with somebody. I mean, look at what happened with and this wasn't even. I mean, look what happened with Dinah. I mean, they killed Shechem, all the males in Shechem. They killed
Yeah.
every one of them because he laid with her.
It's a movie I watched recently called The Last Duel, and it's pretty much over a woman, like that type of situation where somebody laid with somebody else's woman, and then a chain of events happen.
Con, con. That's like the story of almost the entire earth. Almost. I mean, not every situation, but it's usually over a woman. Most conflict happens over a woman. Most of it.
Women in power.
Con. Because the woman represents your power. Like, oh, I got this woman, and that's why somebody else. I mean, think about. I guess I throw in a worldly reference every now and again. Remember Scarface when Tony wanted to take over. He wanted to be the boss. He had to have that woman that his boss had. All the women in that movie, he had to have that woman. Like he wasn't gonna stop until he got her, and he got her, and she never really wanted him, but she went with him because he had the power. And the first chance she got, she left him. But dang, you dropped out again,
Yeah. Ak Darren called me, and I just sent him the link, so he might be trying to get in as well.
Okay, I'm watching it here. Yeah, I'm watching it here. Um, So yeah, I mean, that's just extraordinary. Yeah, when I heard my phone beat buzz, I said, "Let me look and see if anybody missing it yet." He was gone. That's ironic. Uh, but yeah, that's like I said, that's been the thing. You've always had conflicts with one man wanting another man's woman. You know, I hate to use these European references, but think about Oedipus. You know, he was y'all remember that story?
um,
Oedipus, wasn't he
Ed,
slept with his mother or
mother,
something like that, right?
kind,
Yeah.
yeah, Oedipus Rex. I know this because we read it in 10th grade. I remember in my English class, I was like, "What kind of sick stuff is this?" I was like, "Yeah, I got us reading this. We read this. This is stupid." It didn't make sense. Like, why are we reading about a dude who slept with his mother? The king said, kill the baby. She sent him away. He came back, and this is the one. I want this woman. Like, no, that's not even. That's crazy. But she was the king's wife. That's what it
Con.
represents. You know, I want to be in this position, so I want this woman. And I think you had dropped out, Kenanaya, but I was talking about Scarface in the movie. How Tony Montana had to have. Have you seen that movie?
Con, didn't he had a thing for his sister, didn't he?
Not really. He more so wanted to protect her. I don't think he wanted to be
Okay.
with her.
Okay.
But yeah, he was more concerned about keeping her from anybody else. Like he didn't want her to be with anybody, but I don't think he wanted her. She said that at the end though. She was like, "You don't want me to be with anybody else. You want to be with me then, right?"
Right. That's what I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, but he never was like, "Yeah, I want you." You know, he was just. I think he was just overly protective of her, and to the point where he killed her husband, his best friend and her husband. But without digressing too far, but remember when he took over the head spot from his boss. I can't remember his name, but he had to have that woman that he had. Um, what's she call herself? Hancock? That was her name.
I
I can't
forget her
remember.
name.
Yeah, I can't remember either. But yeah, but he just had to have that woman. Like when he
Yeah,
came in there and killed Lopez
yeah.
and that cop, uh, he went right in there and got that woman because they tried to kill him. He killed them, and yeah. So, all right, Akeem. Uh, we can keep going if y'all up to it. I'm good for it. We
Yeah,
get
it's
through.
fine with me. Like I said, I think Darren's trying to get in, man, but I think he's having some trouble. I just sent it to his messenger, but it doesn't look like he's tried that yet. But
Okay.
I'm thinking he probably doesn't know which button to hit to actually
Join
to
it.
get on there. Yeah.
Oh,
I wonder if I sent it. I don't know. I'll have to figure out where I can, get him on there next time, man.
yeah. What's his cousin's name? I can't remember.
You said Darren's cousin? Oh,
Yeah,
oh, oh, you talking about Xavier?
Xavier. Con. Yeah. When is he there with him? Yeah, he hit me up this morning. Say Shabbat Shalom. My so all right. Well, I'm trying to keep an eye on that in case he does come in. We can. Yeah, I haven't even. I've sent it to you guys, but I haven't seen one. Like I thought when you clicked it, it just automatically opened straight to it. But you gotta navigate it.
Well, what I do, I copy the link and then put it into my URL, and then it
Okay.
pulls up for me. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I thought you just clicked on it, and it would open. Okay. While we waiting, we'll go ahead to verse 2. All right, verse 2, it says, and she again bare his brother Abal, and Abal was a keeper of the sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. Now this is interesting because I've heard you cannot draw the conclusion of that from here. I've heard that people reference these two as twins.
Right.
And then,
That's what I'd always, when I was in the church, we
uh,
talked about them being twins.
yeah, but it's not referenced like that. So I see how you can come to that, but I mean, this is a complete thought. Cain, I've gotten a man from Yahuwah. Like I can't imagine one baby coming out and you talking about the baby while another baby is trying to come out. I think she could be pretty much in,
God.
you know what I'm saying? It's like two different time
know.
frames. I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong.
He was strong.
But
Women were strong back then. They lived for hundreds
yeah.
of years.
Right.
Well, yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, that's really interesting. And this is the transition is miraculous. It says, and she again bare his brother Abal. And that's all we need to know, because Abal was the keeper of the sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. Like she birthed him, and that was it. No speak of their childhood, no speak of what they learned or what any conversations or any situations that came about. Just they was born, and this is their jobs. This one was a shepherd, and this one was a farmer.
How do y'all think that came to be with with Abel being a keeper of sheep and Cain tilling the soil? Like, do you think it's some dialogue we're missing where they were taught different things, or they developed them on their own?
That is the question, and it's just like I said, it's nothing here. It's like they was born. They was born, and they became men, and this is their jobs. That was it.
Right. So yeah, we're definitely missing something.
Yeah, it's a lot of history in there that's gone, and it doesn't even get to the ages. What was the time frame? How much time went by here? Were they doing this as teenagers, or were they doing this as 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds? I mean, I don't know what we're looking at here.
Shoot, how long they live? They could be 75 already. Who knows?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We could be talking, hundreds of years later.
75 looking 16.
Right. Exactly. So that was that's something else there. Let me check the back. Yeah, I don't see anything yet.
Yeah, and I just reached out to him via text message, and he hadn't responded, so he might have gone on doing something else.
Okay, no sweat. If he hits you up and says he's trying to get in, let me know. I'll definitely click me in there fast. Okay, okay. So yeah, well, I think that's and that's the thing. That's the question too. How does one come to the position here? Is it something that you choose, or is it something that you know, like in this society, you kind of choose what you really want to be based on what you like or what you're good at, and you know, so on and so forth. So, you know, some people go to college, some people go to trade school, some people go to the military, some people, you know, flounder around until they, you know, find their niche, and some people don't do anything. They just, you know, live off of other people or whatever the case. So that's interesting. I'm just looking to look at Abel's name here. His name means breath. Killed by his brother. I didn't know that his name meant breath. I didn't know that. Okay, cool. Let's go to the next verse. Actually, not the next verse, the second part of this verse. Yeah, well, that's it. Keep of the sheep, till of the ground. Verse 3, and through the process of time, so it's telling us some time is passing. So, I mean, we could literally be, I mean, man, we could be
200
500
years
years,
in.
literally. I mean, we could be 500 years later. Through the process of
Yeah.
time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto Yahuwah. Now, I've heard that people are saying this was stuff that he didn't want, the rotten stuff. Oh, here it goes. Hold on.
And you know, that's what I was.
Shabbat
Hey, Shabbat
shalom, Mark.
Shalom, Mark.
Am I here? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Khan.
All right.
Shalom.
How do I mute and
Shalom,
unmute?
shalom.
Is my camera off?
Yeah, your camera's
No,
I don't
off.
it's
see a
off.
camera.
Yeah, leave the camera off. I don't like
Okay.
it. Shabbat shalom, everybody.
How's it going?
Going
Shabbat
good.
shalom. We
Hallelujah.
got the Inspirer in the building.
Yes,
Right.
indeed.
Listen, kill me.
Yes,
Took me
indeed.
forever
Good
to
to
make this
have
thing work. I was like, it's terrible technology.
you. Nah, this is cool. This is cool. Yeah. It's good to have. So we can have 4 people. I didn't realize I could have 4 people in here. That's all right. Praise God.
But you
Wait till
know,
I upgrade it. We can have more.
what you were just saying, there was an elder that had brought out a study, and we were speaking about the offerings that Cain was bringing, and
Come.
it was from the fruit that had dropped off the tree or off the vine, you know, that had hit the ground.
Right.
So you remember in the movie Friday when Craig's daddy asked him to go get him a cup of ice water,
Con.
and that piece of ice hits the ground, and
Right.
and Craig is spiteful because his father has asked him to do that, so he puts that falling ice into his cup and smiles.
Into
That's
his
kind of what
cup.
I have in my head.
Con. Yeah, that was messed up. That was real messed up. He said it's so funny because when you think about that sequence, you know, his disdain was so evident. She said his sister came and said, "Daddy wants you." He's like, "What? What
Right,
do you want?"
right,
She's like, "I don't know." He go back down like, "Huh? Bring me a glass of water." Like, what?
right, right.
I was outside. You called me to get a glass of water? Okay, I got you. Yeah, we should be happy to do stuff for our parents. That's
So, but
another
you
lesson.
know, and this is why, you know, the Most High didn't accept, you know, and we'll read that here in a sec, I believe. You know, the Most High wasn't his offering wasn't accepted, and it was because the way that he was given, you know.
Yeah. All right, so verse 4, and a ball He also brought of the fatlings, the firstlings of his flock, and the fat thereof. And Yahuwah had respect unto a Baal and his offering. So he brought the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof. So this is
Salakia,
which yeah.
you know, who taught them how to do this? You know what I mean? Like we don't even read
We
like
don't
where,
get that.
yeah.
I mean, we get in the process of time. That's how we get. That's the only explanation we get is as time went through, as time went by, this is where we end up. So yeah, I mean, it had to been taught to Adam, and Adam had to teach them
John.
as the father.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just wish we did have. It would be great if we did have some kind of idea of the time frame. Because they were living for so long. Are we talking 50 years? Are we talking 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, or 500 years? You really, I mean, it could be any of it, but it is what it is. But yeah, definitely had to learn from their father, who, and we don't see any further conversation from. Well, actually, I'm wrong, because we see right here in verse 6, and Yahuwah said unto Cain. So obviously we do see some conversation. But I was thinking more along the lines of Adam, where he's speaking directly to Adam and telling Adam so on and so forth. But we don't see that, but we see conversation with Abel, or with Cain. All right. Verse 4, the second part, it says, and Yahuwah had respect. Okay, yeah, we read that. So verse 5 is where we are. It says, but unto Cain and his offering, he had not respect. What happened?
That's a feedback
Are
coming
you saying
through.
something?
Yeah, I think Darren, if you the mute button is like down at the bottom of your phone, like right above the arrow, and you just gotta tap that. Like if you on the left, I think you got it.
I think I
Okay.
found it. Am I muted
Okay.
now?
Well,
Correct.
yeah, you're muted now.
There's still some feedback though, like a lot of static when he's talking.
Oh, let me see what that is.
I think it's when our phones are unmuted.
Yeah, we pretty much been unmuted. Yeah, I see you on mute, Ken and I. Yaliel on mute. There, yeah, everybody on mute except me. Yeah, it's completely quiet now. Okay, cool. Well, feel free to chime in anytime you got something. You got something to add. So verse 6. And Yahuwah said, no, my bad. Verse 5. But unto Cain and to his offering, he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. So, yeah, I don't know. What does it mean when he said he had respect? Let's see what that word is. Was that like he appreciated it, or he had acceptance?
Right. I'm thinking it wasn't accepted. It wasn't something that that was counted to him as him doing something right. You know what I mean?
Kind. Yeah, this first one says to look or to regard, gaze, or about. To gaze, regard, behold, look about. To look away, cause gaze to turn away. to look in dismay, gaze about. So this has to do with looking. This evidence. That's ironic. When I clicked on the word for respect, and hold on 1 second. Let me take it back here. Cain's offering, he had not respect. Had not respect. That's all in one. Let's see what that word is. Sha'ah. Sha'ah. Look, respect, dismay, turn, regard. So this has everything to do with how he looked at it. So did he look at it like with disdain, I guess? Because this term has everything to do with how he looked at it.
Con, indeed.
That's interesting. That's interesting. So he had not respect. So he looked at it like, "Ugh, what is that?" Like, surely he didn't do that. I mean, he didn't make a face at it, but I don't know. It just don't seem like something that Hamashiach would even do at that. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, that's interesting. I'm gonna have to go back and well, let's do it now. Had not respect. He was very wroth, and his countenance fell. We know his countenance is his kind of like his expression on his face.
Like the demeanor,
Kind. Various spelling of word. This is before face, presence, because sight, countenance, face, faces,
yeah.
presence.
Like the idea I have in my head, and I could be wrong, but it's kind of telling what these definitions of it. But just somebody who is always angry or mad about something, has a pessimistic view of life. You know what I mean? And it's based on his offering not being accepted, or respected rather.
Huh. That's interesting. That's very interesting. All right. Okay. Let's get back to let me see. We got 26 here, so we'll try to go at least halfway. Since we are now at
2.5
7.
hours.
Right, 2.5. We can at least get to 13. I think we're at 7 now, right? 8.
God.
No, we're at 5. Counting this fail, yeah. So yeah, we can get to 13. All right. Verse 6. It says, and Yahuwah said unto Cain, why are you wroth, and why has your countenance fallen? And then we don't get a response. That's the thing. We don't get the response. We don't hear him say, well, because how you gonna do his but not mine? To really see where his mind is. We get it. I mean, it's implied, but I would love to see that. I would love to see that response. It says, if you do well, shall you not be accepted? And if you do us not well, sin lie at the door. And unto you shall be his desire. And you shall rule over him. So that's along the same lines that he cursed his mother with. The desire shall be for your husband. So basically, he was telling him that sin is going to desire you, and you're going to do sin's bidding. You're going to do his will, meaning he's going to rule over you, even though it says he's going to rule over him. And then there's no interpretation for that. It just stops right there. Y'all see that?
Con.
That is miraculous. I mean, the end of the sentence over him is nothing there. But
Have y'all ever read the Targum Jerusalem?
No, I have not.
I hadn't heard of it.
It's
I
like
think it might be
a
through my phone where I'm getting so much feedback. I'm gonna jump off here, and I'm gonna catch up with you, Ken and I later.
Oh, indeed.
Okay.
Over what we're
Indeed.
doing.
All right.
But I can't even
Shalom,
understand
good
the
to
word
see you.
that's coming out anymore.
Oh, okay, so you get okay.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Hey,
Hey,
Shabbat
Shabbat
Shalom. Appreciate you
Shalom.
joining.
But the Targum Jerusalem is like it's a certain verses like the early priesthood went over and like expound on like what they thought it meant,
Uh-huh.
and they have one for verse 7 here. And it says, "If thou makest thy work good in this world, will it not be forgiven and remit thee in the world to come? But does it, if does it not make thy work good in this world, thy sin is retained until the day of the great judgment, and at the door of thy heart it lieth. Yet unto thy hand have I delivered power over evil passion, and to thee may be dominion over it, to become righteous or to sin." And it's like I take from it like he's telling Cain like you got the choice to rule over the sin or let the sin rule over you.
Right.
It's like it's lying at the door of your heart. It's like what are you gonna choose to accept? You gonna to choose the sin or to choose righteousness?
Right. Kind. That's our now that's our always our choice. And Cain is kind of the exception to the rule because he chose to go about it the way he did. He's one to be kind of how I said not be so harsh with Adam and with David, who's spoken of positively. Cain is opposite. He's not spoken of positively. He's spoken of negatively. So he's definitely that example that you can say, man, this is, and plus he had his father to give him some insight. Obviously, if he was bringing the sacrifice, he had some training, he had some knowledge, but his choices is what's causing the questions there,
Mm-hmm.
because him doing what he did, put him in that position, and now he's jealous because his brother did what was right, and he's jealous. He's like, oh, so you supposed to be better than me now? Oh, so you hot stuff?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like this is you can see in the writing, this is his attitude. If you do as well, you shall rule over him. Verse 8, it says, "And Cain talked with Abal, his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abal, his brother, and slew him." Like we don't get any dialogue, but this story is just, when you read it, it just plays in my mind. And you can clearly see what kind of person Cain was. Kane was one of these people that just, whatever, man. I don't care if you don't like it. That's what you got. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not repentant.
Right.
Like,
His heart was hardened, you know.
kind. You're like, man, that's what I had. That's all I had. I ain't had nothing else. Whatever. You didn't have to do me like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and how you go to a ball of all places to be frustrated? How do you go to a ball and be like, "Hey, man, let me talk to you," and end up killing him? Like, I don't know. That's crazy. That brings a script to my mind. Uh, hold on. Let's get somebody get Ecclesiasticus 8:16.
I
Sirach.
got it out.
You got it?
Oh, Sirach. You said Sirach. No, I thought you was going to the other Ecclesiastes. Sirach. What was it again?
Ecclesiastes 8:16.
8 and 16. All right, this is the book of Sirach, chapter 8, verse 16. Strive not with an angry man, and go not with him into a solitary place. For blood is as nothing in his sight, and where there is no help, he will overthrow thee. Indeed,
Yes, indeed. Ain't that something?
yeah.
So,
It holds true to today too, you know.
Absolutely. Don't put yourself in an isolated situation with a person who, you know what I'm saying, like you you've I've heard jokes about it. I've seen it in movies. Hey, can I talk to you real quick? Like, come over here with me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, come here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And what happens? You get over there, and all of a sudden your skin is broken.
Yeah.
And
Or worse, or worse.
Yeah, kind. So, man, that's crazy. Verse 8, or if we just read verse 8, verse 9, it says, And Yahuwah said unto Cain, Where is Abal, your brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? Dude, that is stupid.
Yeah, man. It's like, it's like he's missing something, man. Because it's like he's unaware that the Most High sees all, knows all. You know what I mean?
Kind.
For him to have the boldness to try to, lie about and cover up his actions, man.
And don't get me wrong, I didn't laugh at that because it was funny. I laughed at the audacity.
Indeed.
At the audacity of to say that. Like, where's your brother? Hey, Ball. I don't know. He in my pocket? Like, what?
Right. You're not talking to one of your brothers. You're not talking to even your father. You're talking to the Most High.
Are you out of your mind? Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. The audacity, that's like, and don't get me wrong, again, I probably shouldn't have laughed at that, but it's just like, wow. Like, this is we're seeing his character.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I remember a little side note. I remember me and my sister, man, it's back like we're both in high school. Well, she was in high school. I think I was in middle school. And my dad was fussing at us. and my sister said, and he wasn't in the same room. He was in the den. We were in the kitchen, and she said, "Man, why you always nagging at us?" And my mouth dropped like when she said it, and I immediately left the room because I knew what was coming, man. I knew what was coming, and of course, he went and grabbed a paddle. He went and grabbed his paddle, his fraternity paddle, and he looked at it, and then he he ran and got his belt. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's kind of how I feel like when I hear Cain speak this boldly to the Most High. You know what I mean? Like, let me get away from this brother, man. I know what's getting ready to happen.
Yeah, this foolishly, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that is just so outlandish. Like, I can't believe you would fix your mouth to say that. First of all, I can't believe you killed your brother, your own brother.
Right.
And then when the Most High, and he asked you about it, you just, am I my brother's keeper? Like, is he am I supposed to be watching him? Is he supposed to be right up under me? I mean, what you asking me for? I mean, effectively, that's what he's saying. What you asking me for? Like, I don't know. I don't care. I don't know and I don't care. Like, man, the Most High came to me and said anything. How would I? Well, not even the Most High. If a messenger of the Most High came to me and said something, how would I respond? Probably with my face to the earth. First thing. So, yeah, he had some serious content. He had some heart issues.
Indeed, man.
Okay. And then verse 10, now he gonna break it down. Like, who you think you're talking to, first of all? What have you done? The voice of your brother's blood cried unto me from the ground. Like, sucker, I know what you did. You ain't slick. And now you are cursed from the earth, which has opened her mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. When you tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto you her strength. And a fugitive and a vagabond shall you be in the earth. Now, this word vagabond, I know that's some old English stuff.
And then like a traveler or something like that, or someone with no home or something.
Yeah, nod is the Hebrew word. Nude. It's the Hebrew word nude. Which is funny because, of course, in English, nude is uncovered. So,
right.
Yeah. But I don't think that's what it means. It says to shake, waver, wanderer, to move to and fro, flutter, show grief, have compassion on. We know he didn't do that one. Yeah. To lament, condole, show sympathy. Yeah, he didn't do any of those. Cause to wander. Yeah, so he's going to be a vagabond. So he's just going to be wandering the earth, which is ironic because that's really what we are. We are, even though we stuck in this captivity, we were nomadic people where we just kind of went from place to place. We didn't start in Canaan, but, we went to Canaan during the time of Abraham and then Isaac and then Jacob. And Jacob left Canaan and went to, Syria. And he dwelled with them for an absorbent amount of time. And he came back to Canaan. And, he was kind of all over. Then he went to Egypt in his latter years and dwelled in Egypt. So, man, look, just saying that out loud, I'm like, man, he was all over the place. He went from Canaan to Syria to back to Canaan to Egypt. Like, my goodness. So, all right. Verse 13. And look, and Cain said unto Yahuwah, my punishment is greater than I can bear. For behold, you have driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid. You weren't thinking about that when you're talking that stuff. And I shall
And
be
where's your repentance? You know what I mean?
yeah,
Where's your sorrowfulness? You know, for
nothing.
what you've done.
It's all in. It's all in. This is too much for me. You being mean to me. Now you being mean to me, but you doing it to me. It's all me, 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 me. I mean, look at this language. Behold, you have driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from your face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. It's all about him.
Gone.
You done killed your brother, talk crazy to the power, and it's all about you. Come on, man. That's crazy. That is crazy. And even in that, check this out though. I said we was gonna stop at 13, but I think
It gets too good.
I know, right?
It's like
I
a
know,
Lay's
right?
potato chip. You can't just eat one.
God, yes indeed, yes indeed. And Yahuwah said unto him, therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And Yahuwah set a mark upon Cain, lest any find him should kill him. So even in that, even with no repentance, you killed your brother, you talked crazy to the power, you didn't repent, you didn't show any gratitude, he still had mercy on you.
Yeah, he's
In the sense that
Abba of
current,
abundant mercy, man. You know.
current, absolutely. And he could have struck him right there, boom, and been done. But instead, he preserved him. He gave him the ability to live. He said, curse be anybody who kill you. And then he put a mark on him. Of course, now you listen to the camps, they'll take you that mark. He turned him pale. And now this is so-called white man in the earth. Like, that don't make any sense. Because
Right.
we still at a place where the sun is great. So no, that don't make sense. Anytime you had leprosy in around, it was not a comfortable situation for the person. And I'm not gonna say he wouldn't.
And to add on to that, we can find in the scriptures where it actually says leprosy, and
Right.
I'm believing that those two words are different. Like mark and leprosy come from two different Hebrew words. You know.
Yeah. Matter of fact, let's look at that. Mark. Mark. That's H226 is loading up here. All right. Off. Oath. This is one that they're not as familiar with, because if you look at the root etymology, it says probably from 225. So they're not. I guess there's not enough places where they can really do a good comparison. So they couldn't say definitively, they couldn't come to a definitive conclusion for the people who studied this. Token, ensign, miracle, mark. Sign, a signal, a disgusting mark, a banner, remembrance, miraculous sign, an omen, a warning, a token. I think that warning would be ideal. Like, don't touch him. You got. But how do you get white skin from that? I don't understand that.
I mean, it fits their narrative, man. It fits, what they trying to instill in people's minds, man.
Kind, yeah, that's exactly right, Hawk. That's exactly right.
But I'm looking for the Hebrew word leprosy, man. Want to say
Okay,
the
I'm sure.
first time? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think the first place you'll see it is Exodus, where he gave it to Miriam, if I
Right,
remember correctly.
right. And
I want to say around
is it 12?
20, not 20. No, it was past that when it was about the Ethiopian wife that
Okay.
Moses took. He said, "Come out," and he told them to come out. He said, "Moses, the most meek man, and you have you think not to talk about him? Like I wasn't gonna hear you?
Right.
You think I wasn't listening? I hear all, see all. You can't get around me." Let me know when you find it there.
Okay. Let's see.
Verse 16. While you're looking for that, we'll continue here. And Cain went out from the presence of Yahuwah and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife. Like, what? Where did his wife come from? Now, this is quite the writing of this is extraordinary. So now he knew his wife. Like, we don't hear about a wife until this point. And not only does he have a wife, but he knew her as his father knew his mother. Wow. And I wonder where this east of Eden is, because when we talk about the children of the east, we know that's like Arabia, and those are nomadic people as well. So are these? Are we along that line? Is that where they were? We really don't get that. Understand? Understand? I know there have been some discussion as to where this came from. I believe that this book came from Moses, and Moses was given the account of this information when he went on the mountain to talk to the Most High, and that's how he was able to write this book, because he was here. He witnessed none of this,
Mm-hmm.
but he was when he went up on Sinai, and he came down with that glow, with that light, it would
Right.
his face shine.
Yeah, his face was shining, scared of people. They had to keep a
Exactly.
veil over him.
Exactly, because it was it was so scary to see that. You know, imagine a human being walking up with their face glowing, like literally glowing, not like what they say. Oh, you're glowing. Like, no, you never seen nobody glow. I don't want to see that. That sounds scary. But
And you know that word leprous comes from the Hebrew word 6879 Cesara. And it just simply it's used to be diseased of skin, be leprous. But I want to say that I've read other places where it does indeed say white, but
well, and it says that if you did you find it in Exodus?
no, I found it actually in Numbers chapter 12, verse 10.
Okay, 12 to 10. Well,
Oh,
and
and it says after that, it says became leprous, white as snow.
white as
So,
snow. Yeah,
mhm.
exactly. That's where we got that from. That's what it says. Usually, became leprous, white as snow. And in the movies, they always try to depict it as some kind of melting of the flesh, and horrid.
Like I always have the idea of someone who's heavy on drugs or something, you know.
Yeah, yeah. But these ones, they, it's like vitiligo. If you Google leprosy, it's not going to really show you, somebody whose face who turns white, or whose skin loses pigment. It's going to show you something different. But if you Google, vitiligo, the Michael Jackson disease or whatever, then yeah, you'll see it there where they actually turn. Yeah. So I think he really had that, and it's been a lot of other people that it goes around.
Yeah, I worked with a lady who, was as dark as me. Like, before I met her, she was like, they said she was like my complexion, but she had vitiligo, and it made her skin appear if she was albino or something,
Yeah, kind. And I don't recall any conversation about the hair. Well, yeah, it does. It does. It says it in the law. A thin white hair, and it refers to it as thin yellow hair, and it refers to it as a plague. The plague is let them show themselves to the priest, and if there be any thin yellow hair, I don't remember where it is. I know. I want to say it's Leviticus. Does that ring a bell? Any thin yellow hair?
Con, let me try to see if I can pull that as well.
Okay, kind. Yeah, because I was thinking we don't get anything about the hair, but yeah, that came to my remembrance. And thin yellow hair. Yeah, if that's the case, the police will pronounce you unclean, and that's our culture. And today, you got people wearing, the blonde hair, the yellow hair, and thinking that's the way it should be.
Leviticus 30 and 13.
Okay.
Let me
Go ahead, read it out.
Well, you know what I said? Leviticus 30. There is no Leviticus 30. Hold on. Oh, 13. I'm sorry. Salakia. Yeah, Leviticus 13 and 30. And it reads, then the priest shall see the plague, and behold, if it be in sight deeper than the skin, and there be in it a yellow thin hair, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a dry scale, even a leprosy upon the head or the beard. So yeah, it has to do with the hair as well.
Kind, yeah. Initially, I don't know why I thought, nothing about the hair, just the skin, but no, it's the hair as well. So, all right. So yeah, this we're gonna have to get deeper into this. I think this is a good stopping point. We can call 16, and we can pick up 4 and 16 next Yom Shishi, and go from there. We had a good study.
Indeed,
got a lot of information out. So
yeah, man. All praises to the Father, man. I appreciate you, brothers. Appreciate having brothers to get into these scripts and take our time with it, man. I appreciate it.
Hallelujah. Yes, indeed. Praise God. It's a pleasure to get on here and break bread with you, Akeem, and for us to look at these various things and come into greater understanding. So it's a pleasure to have Akeem to do that with. Yaliel, you still with us? You went to sleep. He might be asleep for real.
Right.
Nah, he probably eating something. Yeah, I'm about to eat me something myself. So It's it's 4:27, but the sun is shining bright.
Yeah, I know. I want to say it's 6 o'clock sundown today, man. So we gaining more light, more and more.
More light. Praise God. Praise God.
Hallelujah.
Yes, indeed. Well, all right, Akeem, I'm gonna go ahead and conclude it, and we're gonna sign out. And I do want to say I give once again all praise, honor, and great esteem to the Most High Power, Yahuwah, Bahashem, in the name of Yahushua, the Messiah, Hamashiach. And I also want to say to the 12 tribes of Israel who are scattered to the four quarters of the earth, Shalom wa Baruchim, peace and blessings to you all. And may the Most High guard and keep you. Fear the Most High and keep his commands, for this is the duty of man.
That's right.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
All right. Shalom, Miss Booker.
Hey,
Shalom, Akeem.
shalom, brothers.
All right, take care.